right, welcome to this week's episode of Living Vacationland. We've got a mini one. I guess this isn't quite this week's. We're going to do a little bonus episode since Mike did some pretty cool cooking this past weekend. It involved pretty much everything from Maine. I say pretty much because he got his ass kicked towards the end.
Yeah.
It's my favorite part of this. Let's get into it. No beer this week. We're in the middle of a work day for both of us, so we might do a beer on the second one. We'll see. That's not a beer, is it?
Unfortunately not.
Yeah. So how was your meal? What led you to do a Maine-based meal?
So really the reason that I did it is I was having some coworkers and my boss over for dinner, and they're all really, really good cooks. Like my boss does a lot of smoking, and
Me too.
a little different kind of smoking. And then my other coworker does a lot with sous vide stuff, and they're both like just really, really good. So I was trying to find a way that I could do something that was a little bit different, so I wouldn't get completely embarrassed by my abilities. So I finally had settled on just, hey, let's try to do everything for Maine. I was getting a farmer's box at the time. So I was getting local produce every week, which was one of the big reasons that I had tried it out. But yeah, it was way more difficult than I would assume it to be. Like meat, easy. Produce, easy. Dairy, easy.
And if you want a bland meal, easy.
Yeah, easy. And some spices are easy, like thyme, rosemary, things like that. But when you get into like some of the weird spices, like cinnamon, nutmeg,
right.
Even like
mustard.
Mustard, pepper, all those were all but impossible. I mean, maybe not. I had only given myself a few weeks once I had decided. So I think if I'd had a little bit more lead time, I could probably source a little bit more or find things that are similar.
Right. Well, and you do this in the middle of the summer.
Yeah, much easier.
It's way easier.
Yeah, the fall I thought was going to be easy because like you still have some summer produce and a lot of fall produce. But yeah, I'd well overestimated spices.
Right. Well, and with the lead time, you could have pickled stuff from the summer.
Yeah.
You know, like it is doable in the middle of the winter. It's just the foresight of it. And you can see how back in the day, people just ate the same shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
I made sauerkraut last year.
Yeah.
Out of like 4 heads of cabbage. I just got shit-faced and beat the shit out of cabbage. Because that's all it is. You salt cabbage and beat the piss out of it until like the fluids come out of it.
Yeah.
And then you can it.
That's it.
And like a week later, it's because it's a lacto fermentation. Yeah. So you're just releasing that lacto.
Yeah.
And then like I did some variations of it where I added some spices to it and stuff. Yeah. But honestly, I mean, just regular sauerkraut is where it's at. Did you pickle stuff for this?
I did, but I'm not going to lie. I actually forgot to put both things out that I pickled. So I made some actual pickles a while ago back in the summer.
Yep.
And then I pickled some turnips and carrots and for a charcuterie board.
Pickled carrots. That reminds me of taquerias.
Yeah. Especially if they're spicy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I forgot to put both of those things out.
So more for us?
Yeah. Still up in the fridge. I
Nice.
think I have like 12 jars of pickles or something.
12?
Yeah.
That's the thing. I noticed it when I did the sauerkraut. Like 4 heads of cabbage. I wanted to start a sauerkraut farm after. I'm like, cabbage is super easy to grow.
Oh, yeah. Cheap.
Yeah. And like a couple acres of that, and you could start a sauerkraut company.
Yeah. Is there any Maine-based?
Morses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's right.
I don't think I've had them. But that's kind of part of the sauerkraut thing is that if you make it well, it's all the same. Yeah. There's not a lot of variance in sauerkraut.
Yeah, I haven't had a ton of it.
Kimchi is a little bit different.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I assume that's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah. All right, we got off on a sauerkraut tangent. But what was your menu?
So we had a charcuterie board at first. So it was a couple local.
That's crackers and cheese for us poor folks.
A couple local salamis and suppresta. A local cheddar from Pineland, a local goat cheese. I forget where from. Like a soft goat cheese, which I...
You don't like goat cheese?
No.
I love goat cheese. On steak, dude?
Oh. I know people love it. Then I had made some homemade crackers. Did a bacon jam, homemade mustard.
Bacon jam, is that what you said?
Yeah. So it's bacon cooked down with brown sugar, coffee, and some vinegar.
Okay.
And it makes like a spreadable, chunky jam for crackers or bread.
Interesting.
Yeah, if you do it with like smoked cheddar and bacon jam on a cracker, it's like a bacon grilled cheese. I still have some left over. And then did some spicy meatballs and some honey mustard meatballs for appetizers.
Okay.
And then the main course was...
Wait, that was appetizers?
That was appetizers, yeah.
Holy fuck.
And then main course was red wine braised short ribs, garlic mashed potatoes, roasted carrots, and roasted Brussels sprouts with some homemade bread.
How much butter do you put in your mashed potatoes?
So much butter.
Yeah.
I don't think you can over butter mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
Like
No.
I've never done it, at least.
No. Mashed potatoes should not be healthy.
No, that is one place not to skin.
No. Do you sour cream them?
I didn't. I have before.
Typically do.
It's like half and half.
Yeah, that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
I like it better.
It does give a nice tang.
Yeah.
And then dessert, we had an apple tart and a bourbon ice cream. Yeah, I had tried this beer ice cream with a local saison, and I definitely do not think it was the beer's fault. I think just either my not knowing how to make ice cream with beer or that style of beer. It literally just tasted like vanilla ice cream blended with PBR.
I'll take it.
I have some left over if you want to try it.
Yeah, man.
But the bourbon ice cream came out way better. I don't drink eggnog, but my wife drinks eggnog and loves it, and she said it tastes exactly like a spiked eggnog.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Are you going to make it for Christmas?
Probably. It was a super easy one to make.
I would not be mad at getting bourbon ice cream for Christmas present. Just putting that out there.
And I think next time I'd try more bourbon.
Yeah.
Like I only did it was a tablespoon of bourbon in a quart. And you could definitely taste it, but I think more would be better. But you don't cook it down at all, so it is like
alcoholic.
Yeah. A boozy ice cream.
My buddy up in Kingfield used to bring this stuff by amaretto.
Yeah.
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 And we do, I think that's what it was. Does that sound right for ice cream?
Yeah.
Have you had that?
I think so.
You like just pour it on top.
Yeah.
And it's so good, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I do love.
He doesn't even drink. No. And he'd bring that over and I'd be like,
yeah. Amaretto's really good. And there's other liquors that are kind of similar, like a Sambuca from Italy, or I think it's Rocky from Turkey. They're all very similar. Good.
Right. You should have done it with coffee brandy, dude.
That would have been a real
it was a Maine
ice cream. Yeah. It was a Maine. Well, no, it wasn't.
You just tried to lie to me when it doesn't even matter, and I already know that it's a lie.
No, I forgot that.
I don't trust you since the paintball thing.
Yeah, I forgot that I cheated on that one. I was gonna do a Maine bourbon.
Forgot.
I had a Maine bourbon, but I couldn't get myself to open a brand new bottle of bourbon for 1 tablespoon.
Why? You're gonna fucking drink it anyways.
I know, and I ended up drinking a lot of it that night.
So what the fuck?
It was a dumb
bullshit
decision. But nobody asked me if it was Maine bourbon, so.
Because you look trustworthy.
Yeah.
They don't know your hood past.
Right. And
Mike's been lying since the womb.
I know. And I had for the bread. So I know we had talked about this, but I had started that sourdough starter like 21 days ago or something.
Yep.
And I think I just didn't feed it properly because it was not as healthy as it should have been. So I had to scrap that and make a different bread.
That sucks.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's a long process to once you make the starter. You have to make I think it's called a leaven or a levain.
Yeah.
I'm not sure exactly the pronunciation, but 3 days before you want to bake bread, you take a tablespoon of starter and a little bit of flour, a little bit of water, and get it real bubbly. And then the next day, you make the actual dough, and it's a 6-hour process of folding and letting it rest, folding, letting it rest, and then you let it rest again for the day, and then you bake it. So I, on 3 days before, went to do it, and it just there's a float test where you just throw it in water, and if it floats, it's ready. And I couldn't get it to float, so I had to.
That sucks.
But it's I think I've taken sourdough for granted. Like, I didn't realize, okay, 3 days before I want to make this bread, I have to start this crazy long process.
Yeah. Which is way easier for, like, a bread company to do, because you just keep the machine running.
Yeah.
You know? Not literally the machine, but, like, you know, every day I got to be doing this process.
Yeah.
What's up, Oakley?
Yeah. Somebody must be here. So, yeah, that was one disappointing thing. And I guess forgetting the pickles was a disappointing thing.
Right.
But other than that, it went...
but as a learning process, that shit's almost good.
Oh, for sure.
Do you want to go deal with him?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Did you get a package?
I don't know what it was.
I feel like I could hear a car in this.
Just turn on the fan. Hopefully
I can hear the fan.
Yeah. Can you?
Yeah. You can't?
No.
You don't hear that?
No.
Interesting. I wonder if your headphones are better or worse.
Yeah. But could be the heat too, I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay, so we had to deal with Mike's dog.
Yeah, sorry.
Growing pains of doing this at his house right now.
Yeah.
But we're working on a permanent spot eventually. But I've learned, don't take on bills that you can't pay before you can pay them.
No.
So
Definitely don't do that.
We're getting LL Bean to sponsor this. Mike's going to make a lot of sourdough. We're selling sourdough and T-shirts to pay rent.
Sourdough T-shirts.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I would wear a shirt I could eat.
Yeah. Speaking of that.
Dude, skiing? You just streamlined your day. I bet sourdough is a good insulator.
Oh, yeah.
And you could just sit on the lift and eat your shirt.
Probably keeps well, too.
Yeah, lather yourself in butter, and then put your sourdough shirt on.
That would work.
So, would you say spare ribs was the main course?
Short ribs.
Short ribs.
Yeah.
How'd those turn out?
What'd
you do to them?
What's that?
What'd you do to them?
So they're braised in red wine and beef stock, spices, etc. I did it for 2 days, basically.
Okay.
So first day for like 6 hours, and then just let it chill overnight, because after you cook it, there's so much fat from the stock and the ribs that I probably pulled a half inch of like
fat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like dry, not dried up, but like
that top layer.
Fat. Yeah.
I made pork pozole.
Yeah.
Pozole. I don't know how you say it. I've just read it on the internet. But I didn't trim the fat off it or anything, and it was so good, but it was so rich that I made it for my mom, and to this day when I talk to her about it, she's just like, I'm not gonna I'm like, I will
too much fat.
Take the fat off.
Yeah.
It was so good. But it was one of those things, like, even after I took that like brick of fat off, it was still fatty.
Oh yeah.
Like, but it was so good.
It is. But and you don't even really realize it when you're cooking it, how much fat. It wasn't until the next day that I was like, holy shit. That's a lot of fat.
Yeah. When it cooled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then I did it for another few hours, throw it back in the fridge, get that other layer of fat, and then skimmed it off.
Well, and even that, like, if you were relying on all this for your food, like, we just throw that fat in the trash.
Oh, yeah, you could use it for all kinds of
gold.
things. Yeah.
Like, you talk to hunters, and they're like, I don't throw the fat away.
No.
Like,
not people cook with it.
Yeah, like, bear fat is supposed to be real good to cook stuff in.
Yeah. Yeah, because, like, frying potatoes and fat, it's... But yeah, no, just
Have you done the mashed potato fry the next day?
I do
Like a pancake?
Yeah. I did that yesterday actually.
It's better than mashed potatoes.
It is. Yeah, my uncle showed me that like 15 years ago. I never knew it was a thing.
Yeah.
And they are fantastic. Yeah, I made fried those up, fried the short ribs and all the veggies, and made like a hash to go over the
Nice.
potato pancakes. Yeah, it might have been better than the actual meal.
I like leftover meals usually are.
Especially if you
Turkey
can make
sandwiches the day after Thanksgiving.
anything you can make a hash.
Yeah. I like the can. We've already had this conversation, I think. But
Yeah. I know a lot of people that love the can.
dude, sometimes
do it.
poverty just does it right.
Yeah. Yeah, they apparently got that right for most people. Not for me.
Yeah, well, you grew up with yuppie taste buds.
That's fair.
I never had anything basic at your house.
No.
But your mom always made it look basic. It would
Yeah.
still take like 10, 15 minutes, but
Yeah, I was lucky in that.
yeah.
Yeah, I would like
She had a unique flavor too.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was always full of flavor, but not overwhelming flavor,
for sure.
which I think is a hard place to hit.
It is. Yeah, I like. There's a few things that she made growing up, like your typical meatloaf or shepherd's pie, that I still cannot duplicate as hard as I try.
Yeah. If you don't like meatloaf, you haven't had good meatloaf. Is kind of how I see
is
meatloaf.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And that's another one the next day. Meatloaf sandwiches.
I haven't had that.
Oh,
Just a slice of it,
slice of it. Some.
like a slice
Yep.
in the bread.
Yep. Cheese.
Okay.
That's another place.
Cheese?
Yeah, like a smoked cheddar, and then panini.
You're really going hard in cheese.
I know.
now, huh?
I know. It's crazy.
Not goat cheese though.
No. It's way too soft for me.
So for people that don't know, when we used to like everybody when they're young has done the like, oh, let's get something cheap and split it. Because of Mike's hatred for cheese, we never did pizza.
No. I would eat pizza as a kid.
Yeah, but you wouldn't like it.
No,
and
I'd
as a
peel the
friend,
cheese
you're
off.
like,
Yeah.
like I hate seeing my friend like peeling cheese off and eating bread. I'm like,
I love bread.
the minimal amount of calcium that you just ripped off that.
Yeah, I definitely want to do this next year again with some more foresight, but
I think it'd be a good video thing for us to do. Just, I mean, especially next year if we can plan out a garden thing to
yeah.
kind of do a fall feast type
Yeah.
deal. Like,
Yeah, it gives me a way better appreciation for people that cooked 100 years ago, 150 years ago. Or, well, I never ate their food. Maybe it was bland as fuck and it sucked, but I
think it depends.
I doubt it, yeah.
I think the further back in history you go, there's the people that could and the people that couldn't.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah,
Like-
I mean, they had...
I mean, spice trade was literally why we went searching
Yeah.
and found America.
Yeah,
So there's always been people willing to pay for flavor.
that is true.
It's just so readily available
Yeah.
now. But even that, like you go to the grocery store and look at the spice aisle, and that's like if you were to fully stock your spice cabinet, you're going and spending like $300-400.
Oh, absolutely. And that's
getting
if you
little
want,
things
yeah,
like
the cheap McCormick
Right.
ones. Like, you want nice spices?
Yeah, dude, I got fresh bay leaf the other day.
I don't know if I've ever...
It's worth it.
Yeah. Yeah, always
Yeah.
dried.
Yeah. I saw it and I was like,
Yeah.
just try it. And I put it in my chili.
Expensive?
I don't think so. I think it was like $2 or $3 for like 6
Yeah, that's not
things. Like,
Cheap enough.
yeah. If you're making a full meal. You
Yeah.
know? But when are you not if you're using bay leaf?
No. And the big thing for me was the bread. Like, I felt so defeated not being able to do that. When,
I
like,
bet.
bread was, like, I think it was the Egyptians or, like, the first ones known to use, like, a leavened bread, like some type of yeast bread.
Yep.
It's like, people have been doing this for, I don't know history that well, so I don't know when that
Right.
era was, but...
Yeah. But I also
10,000
wonder, like, looking back on some of that, how much of it's because, like, they just got done a wheat harvest and they literally have, like, 1,000
Yeah.
pounds of extra flour.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, let's figure this out.
Yeah.
Like, it's okay how it is. Because it
Yeah.
probably didn't start off good.
No,
it was
no,
probably, like, they probably mixed water with it and ate it like that and were like, this is edible and has sustenance
Yeah.
to it.
And
And then somebody left it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure that's probably what happened. It's the same thing with like whiskeys, bourbons, scotch. Like that was always, like I think initially any like corn or wheat harvest that, like if you had more than what you were supposed to, it went to the king. But after that, when they had excess of wheat or corn, you would make whiskey because that was the only way you could preserve it.
Right.
So I'm sure it was probably the same with bread. Like,
yeah. Have you heard the theory about mushrooms in the Bible?
No.
So there's a theory that everybody, or the people that were following the Christian religion, were eating mushrooms, and that's how they were getting all that enlightenment.
Huh.
Was because they were living in a environment that was, able to grow those types of mushrooms. And as the world kind of heated up, those mushrooms kind of stopped growing where they were growing. So the Bible was pretty much written to hide these gems of knowledge that they were finding while they were on hallucinogenic trips. Yeah. And because of that, there was a stripping of the ego in their culture. Yeah. Like it stripped ego down, and people were willing to like talk stuff out and all that. And when they started losing them, they started fermenting them so they could save them.
Yeah.
And it shifted from that hallucinogenic, no ego, culture to an alcohol-based culture, which just flares the ego, feeds the ego. Opposite. And that's what we've been in for the last 2,000-ish years.
Yeah.
Which...
Very interesting.
It's a theory. I don't know whose theory it is, but it's one that... There's a lot of that stuff that you look around at the world and you're like, I mean, there's no way they weren't eating mushrooms back then.
Right.
And people have loved drugs since drugs.
Yeah.
And original drugs were from the earth.
Yeah, and
there's some weird shit in the Bible.
You know,
I'd believe somebody was walking on water if I was tripping.
Right. I read some of it, but...
I read the children's Bible.
Yeah. Some crazy stories.
Well, and how many different versions of the Bible is there?
Yeah, I don't know.
But you listen back to that type of stuff, and it's still even like turning water to wine and feeding people with bread.
Yeah.
Like that kind of goes into line with what you're talking about with stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
Just having bread at one point was like
huge.
Yeah. Like you're worth something.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think we take for granted the access to food that we have.
Yeah.
It's like
how much gets thrown out nowadays from the grocery store?
Oh yeah. They say like a third, and I don't know if this accounts for stores and for like residential, but I know it's a third of all food gets thrown out. And I think that's just from like in-home waste. Like you buy $100 of groceries and $33 of that is going to get thrown out.
That's crazy.
Yeah. I
like grocery shopping in small amounts because of that. Yeah. I hate throwing food away. I hate wasting food. Mm-hmm. Even if it's not good what I made.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to finish it because it's just I don't know.
Waste, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like there was, I think it was a commercial about this chef show about the chef that was trying to like reinvent that and was only making meals from grocery stores that were throwing food away. So like it wasn't your pretty produce,
right?
But it was totally fine.
Yep.
And doing it alongside like something with fresh produce and serving it to people and having them realize there's no difference in it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I'm pretty conscious of that, but there's still plenty of times where I'm like,
right,
it doesn't look good anymore. Yeah. I'm gonna throw it out.
Yeah. Or even the bottom of a bag of chips.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like once I've made the nachos out of the chip bag, the rest gets thrown away.
I know when you could do like you can make breadcrumbs, you can
put it on your salad.
Yeah, all kinds of things. But
I haven't thought about the breadcrumbs.
Yeah, I've done that with like old cheddar bunnies or like crust some chicken.
To cheese it for the poor folks.
Yeah.
Or goldfish, I guess, right?
Yeah, goldfish.
Yeah.
That's good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite thing you made for the meal?
The dessert for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah. The ice cream was way better than I had envisioned it was going to be. And the tart was fantastic.
Nice.
And I don't know if that was because I made this shitty, terrible ice cream the day before.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, your
this one-
bar wasn't too high.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a recipe I will definitely continue to make.
Nice.
Everything else, like, I had made in some capacity before.
Right. Like the charcuterie board is, you really just cut shit up.
Yeah.
Like-
I made the crackers and some of the jams.
What'd you make for a cracker?
It was with Maine grains at a Skowhegan. It was their cornmeal and some rye flour, and then sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, and rosemary. Yeah, they're really good.
Interesting.
Yeah, and they're super easy to make.
Yeah. I tried to make Cheez-Its one time. That was not...
Same. Yeah, it did not work out well.
It's all the thickness of them.
Yeah.
Like the thin ones that I got are really good. But
Yeah.
the thick ones, a Cheez-It is essentially like flour, water, cheese, salt.
Yeah.
So if it's not cooked well, it's just...
Oh, it's not good.
It tastes like flour, water, cheese,
Yeah.
and salt.
And they don't last. Like, I put them in the fridge, and it was like maybe the day after that they were already like soggy and not good. But yeah, the slicing is the hardest. Like,
You know what I wish I had thought to do? Is put it through a pasta maker
yeah, that would work.
and then just slice it with a butcher knife.
I didn't think about that either.
I thought about it after. I don't think I had a pasta maker at the time either, but...
I made a log. Like, rolled a log.
and then sliced it?
And then sliced it. But that was hard, too.
Yeah, I don't think I could get it. I didn't realize how thin they have to be.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
thin.
Yeah, I don't know if you could
Oh, I bet if you...
meat slicer.
Yeah, well, I was thinking like...
Freeze it.
Not freeze, probably, because
But
I think
get
that
nice
would
and
be... Yeah.
Yeah.
But mandolin.
Yeah, that would work. Those things scare the shit out of me.
Yeah. I only trust myself with onions.
Yeah.
Because it's got the little press thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I caught myself once doing potatoes. And
Yeah.
won't go back.
Yeah. They do save a lot of time, but...
They do.
You kind of have to use them for that burger that I was telling you about.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to make
the
those for you
onions.
next time we...
Yeah.
Next time we record. Maybe we'll record it or something. Anything else you want to say about on the food stuff?
No.
Figure keep this one nice and short.
Yeah. I would definitely recommend people try it. Like, even if it's just to fail. Like, just to kind of step back and
have
realize,
a frozen pizza in the...
yeah. And realize, wow, if, like, locally sourcing things, like, everybody talks about how we should locally source. And if more people did, there would be more access to these things. But it is really hard. And I understand a little bit more why people just don't even try. Mm-hmm. Like, I try for meat and produce, but some of these other things, so yeah, definitely try it.
Sweet. I'm probably gonna.
Yeah.
I'll probably try to do it for you guys, really.
Perfect.
I think that'd be a fun... I don't know. Need the right audience for it.
You need people that appreciate food.
Yeah. Like, they don't necessarily need to be into fancy food, but they have to appreciate the effort that goes into making food.
Yeah, because it was a 2-day process of, like, prepping.
And realistically, it should have been longer, like you said. Like, 2 days wasn't enough.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Cool. Let's sign off, and we'll start up on a different one. This is going to be a bonus one. I'll release this later on in the week. I guess I'm talking to people as they're listening to it, so none of this matters. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I think I'm getting the hang of this a little bit more.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't have anxiety sitting down and talking into a mic now. You know what we did this time for the first time ever? Is started it and went.
Yeah, we didn't stop.
Yeah, the other ones have taken a little bit starting.
Yeah.
So
that's a good sign, I guess.
Coming for you, Joe Rogan. Anything else?
No, I'm good.
Cool. See you guys whenever.